Hey, this is Bert Brocker, head coach of Texan Buick and GMC, and I'm proud to bring you the Tailgate from Texan Plaza. That's right, at the all-new Turner Stadium. And this year, it's going to be hosted by the one and only from 610 Sports Radio, Mr. John Lopez.
All right, welcome to the inaugural Tailgate at Texan Plaza. We're going to have some fun on this show, I promise you that. This is the Tailgate at Texan Plaza, brought to you by Texan Buick GMC. My name is John Lopez. We got a lot of fans here. You need to come out, and you can find out a lot more. Let me start there at TexanPlaza.com. TexanPlaza.com. It's a place where you can go to find out a lot more about some of the things going on, where we're going to be filming our next game, and you could be involved too. No doubt about it. At that point, let me bring in Bert Brocker, the coach. We'd like to call him Bert Brocker from Texan Buick GMC. I'm going to start with the dream being fulfilled here tonight. This is your plaza. There's a story behind it, and you talk about supporting our community and our teams and our schools. This is it.
Yes, it is, John. About a year ago, I got involved with Steep Creek Media and Troy Kite, the athletic director, and we came out here. We were part of it. We were part of the stadium. We had the 25-second clocks, and then long story short, the plaza came available, had an opportunity to come out here. If you look in our background, you'll see it's a Texan Buick GMC entrance, and, you know, it's just unbelievable because all this money that's anybody that comes out here and advertises, it goes back to the schools.
Yeah.
And, you know, and right now with everything as tight as it is, you know that's very important. So it's just a wonderful deal to be out here.
And we call him the coach for a reason. He's a big sports guy. This is going to be a good sports show. And, of course, we have always, every week, we have a team of the week, local high school team of the week. I'm going to introduce you to my friends back here from the Kingwood High School swimming team. Y'all still there, aren't you? Yeah, okay. And then we also have what we call the talk of the tailgate, because I like to tailgate, and those are the Atascocita Patriots. Look at the pretty girls right here. And we'll talk to Melissa Rayburn and talk about the talk of the tailgate and some of their great accomplishments. Let's talk sports real quick, because this is what this is about. We're going to get to the Texans, no doubt about it. We're going to have Aaron Glen joining us in the next segment. But let's start with SEC football. It is a huge, huge issue, topic. It's good for the Aggies. I don't think anybody's going to say it's bad for the Aggies, but it's a big story in Texas.
Absolutely, John. You know, like you said earlier, the bottom line is, you know, it all comes down to money. And, you know, and that's where we're at right now. Texas has dominated this deal for so long. And, you know, all the teams, Nebraska, you look around the conference, everybody's left. And, you know, right now, A&M's got an opportunity to better themselves. And SEC, you don't get any better than that right now. So it's going to be interesting.
Interesting thing, my thoughts on that, of course, the SEC, the Aggies are going to be well. The problem is the Texas and the Big 12. That's going to be an issue for them, no doubt about it. Replacing them, I don't see the Houston Cougars doing it. I'm sorry. I think Texas political clout in the sports circles is going to keep that from happening. Maybe not TCU even. SMU has tried to get into the conference, but it's got to be somebody from out of state because Texas doesn't want to recruit against other teams that they're bringing in.
Nope, and that's, you know, that's what it all comes down to. It's going to come down to, you know, what are we going to do to continue to make that conference be strong? So, you know, there's some big decisions up there at the top right now.
What do you think would be the best team to come in here? I've heard a lot about BYU. I've heard a lot about some other teams going really to the East Coast, maybe even try to snag a Virginia Tech as well. But no matter what you say, it's just not going to be the same without A&M and Texas in the same conference. But it's good for the Aggies and hopefully good for the Longhorns as well.
Well, you're going to have somebody out there that can bring people. If you go outside the state, they've got to be able to bring, you know, fans to the stadium. So, as we've seen last year with the NCAA basketball tournament here, you know, there were a couple teams that didn't bring anybody here. And, you know, it's just a tough deal because you've got to be able to fill the stands for the money aspect
No
of it.
doubt about it. All right, as I've said, this is a very interactive show. You can go to TexanPlaza.com and find out a lot more. But now, let's hit the plaza and let's get going and get some questions for some of these people here. Let's ask some questions here on Texan Plaza right now. Who do we got here? What's your name, sir?
Tom, sir, from Texan GMC.
I know that name, Tom Huberty. All right, Tom, what do you got for me?
In regards to Peyton Manning's recent injury, how do you think it'll affect the Colts this season?
All right, Peyton Manning, here's the deal. Big game tomorrow, no doubt about it. With the neck injury, this is a type of injury that's going to be able to linger. And everybody says, well, he wants Brett Favre's record. All right? He's not going to get Brett Favre's record. I mean, Peyton Manning right now, this is only good news for the Texans. Everybody says, well, be careful what you wish for because they've got a really good quarterback backing up. I don't care. What do you think? You want Peyton Manning or anybody else?
I'll take Peyton Manning, sir.
All right, anybody else? Let's get to another question over here. What do we got? What do we got, sir? What's your name?
How you doing? Luke Doble with Certain Insurance.
Luke Doble. What do you got?
Well, I'm kind of biased, obviously, with a family member leading the Texans defense this year, but I'm thinking they look pretty good. What do you think about that new 3-4 with Mario lining up at linebacker this year?
Family member wouldn't be Wade Phillips, would it?
A family member would be Wade.
Well, you got to tell us a story.
Well, his wife and my mother, first cousins, and we got to be a little close, got to be close friends with them, and it's been a good deal.
Well, good deal. All right. So you asking about Wade Phillips. All right. I happen to know Dan Pastorini a little bit, and we've talked about Wade Phillips. Dan Pastorini has a bet that he's going to get it into the top 5 defenses in the NFL. And that, I don't think that's necessarily true, but all they have to do is be average. And I've seen them a lot. We've gone to training camp. Season starts tomorrow. They've got a lot of tricks up their sleeves that they're hiding right now, and they're going to be able to spring on a backup quarterback. With Peyton Manning not able to go, it's going to be a backup quarterback there. I also think that this is a type of defense that's going to be, well, first, a lot of questions on the defense. Everybody on the position, and I'm sure your relative has told you, everybody has some question marks. Mario's moving to outside linebacker. Mario Williams, Brian Cushing and DeMeco Ryans, unknowns in the middle. DeMeco coming off the injuries, of course. There's a lot here. What do you think about this Texans team?
I think it's going to be a great year, man. Obviously, like I said, I'm a little bit biased, but I think the defense is looking good. Like I said, Wade coaching, I think he's one of the best defensive minds in football. He didn't have good luck with Dallas last year, but so far what I've seen with the defense, he's turning them around, and I think it's going to be a good year.
All righty. All right, coming up on the tailgate at Texan Plaza. It's a good time, of course. You know him. He actually grew up in this area, in Humble area. And, of course, Aaron Glen played football at Texas A&M. We're going to ask him about the SEC move and, of course, the Houston Texans as well. NFL great Aaron Glen coming up next on the tailgate at Texan Plaza. Hey, John Lopez here reminding you about the best talk, the best sports, the best guests, the team of the week, and the talk of the tailgate. Every week right here on ION, that's the tailgate at Texan GMC Plaza. Obviously, we are back at the tailgate at Texan Plaza, no doubt about it. John Lopez here, joined now by my friend Aaron Glen, played for everybody pretty much, but you remember for the Texans and certainly the Dallas Cowboys as well.
Yeah.
New York Jets, played in some big games with the New York Jets.
Yes.
Let's start with the Houston Texans, your old squad. Big ball game tomorrow, season opener. We got to start with the season. You were here when there was such anticipation. The defense was good when you were here. You all made some plays. What is the anticipation now from what you see being a player that knows what it takes to win on that side of the ball?
Well, I'll tell you what, going into this third preseason game for the Texans right now, this is an important game for these guys. I mean, number one, they have a new defensive coordinator. Basically looked at as a totally new team.
Yeah.
So these guys have to come out on defense and really show what they can do, especially the guys that have question marks, the guys like Mario, the guys like Jonathan, who's going to be getting his first action. Can he hold up for 3 quarters? We don't know that, but we'll see in this game.
All right, let's talk about Wade Phillips and Mario. Those are the two hot-button issues, no doubt about it. Let's start with Wade Phillips. You're familiar with his work.
Very.
You know what he does. What is he going to bring, and how much has he been showing in the preseason?
I'll tell you what, you could already see what this guy has brought to this team. The sack total, they might have more sacks than anybody in the league right now. But before that, I knew once he got here, they were going to increase their sack total by at least 10 to 12 sacks by the year. I think Mario goes into a new position, which is okay. He's one of the most athletic guys in the league. So the transition athletically is not going to be a problem for him, but mentally it might be an issue for him. But I think he'll get a chance
one
to do it.
point with the transition athletically that I've been seeing in the preseason, unbelievable, freakish athlete.
Yes.
We know that. But the burst off the line, the first, is that going to come with just technique?
Well,
or
it really is, because you have to realize this guy has his hand in the ground for the past 5 years or so that he's been playing. And now he has to understand that coming off a 2-point stance is totally different than when your hand in the ground. So I think it comes with technique. I think it comes with experience, like you're getting the chance to do it over and over again. And the more time he practices, you got to remember these guys had no OTAs, no mini camps. So this guy's actually just starting to do it in training camp, and I think he's going to get better as the games go by.
I think you're right, but let's get to the secondary now. The front seven is going to help the secondary, no doubt about it. Kareem Jackson's been pounded on by everybody. Everybody knows the problems that he's had.
Yep.
Can that change? And what's Jonathan Joseph on the other side going to do?
Well, the
for
first
him?
thing, it has to change. It has to change for them guys to be successful.
Right.
I think Jonathan Joseph, I think he solidifies a veteran presence in that team to talk to Kareem on a daily basis to make sure that he gets the chance to keep his confidence.
Right.
I think for Kareem, he has to go out there and play with confidence, first of all, and he has to understand that, listen, corners get beat.
Yeah.
What happened last year is last year. This is a new year. What are you planning on doing this year to show the city and yourself that you can play this position and play in this league? So I think he's ready to do it now.
All right, now get into you're playing defensive coordinator. Peyton Manning will not play tomorrow. All right?
No.
What are you thinking? What does this team what can this team do with Peyton Manning's injury?
Well, you saying what the Texans are going to do?
Yeah, what are they going to do? Are they going to attack even more?
The first thing I will say is I think the Texans will beat them anyway.
All right.
And I might catch flack for that right
now.
No,
hey, they did last year.
Yes, they did. So I think they will win the game anyway.
Yeah.
Now, you bring on a guy like Kerry Collins, who they just signed, I think it was yesterday or sometime today. Now, you bring a guy that has the same type of talent, not as far as mentally, but as far as arm strength and as far as knowing the game as Peyton. So I don't think they're going to lose that much of a step. They might, the connection with the receivers, you might lose that. But as far as quarterback play, I don't think you're going to lose a lot of that. I think the Texans are going to come in and blitz this guy like they're planning on doing every team they're going to play against anyway.
Sure.
So I just think the Texans are going to go out there and play well in this first game like they always do at the beginning of the year, every year. And I think they're going to have a good season this year.
All right, your former school and my former school. You're never a former Aggie. You're a former student. Moving to the SEC. I got to get your thoughts on that because this is a big move. I don't really see a big downside. People say competitively, but, hey, this is a top 10 team right now.
Well, the thing is, it's a lot bigger than that when you really look at it. I mean, what's happening is with A&M going to the SEC, you're opening the door for these kids that's about to play right now to get a chance to get looked at by a lot of different schools. Now, some of those schools in the SEC, sometimes some schools will come out here and touch Texas players,